Museion. For more than 100 centuries, the God Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of terror. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of a million worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day, so that he may never truly die. Yet even in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets cross the demon-infested miasma of the warp, the only route between distant stars, their way lit by the Astronomicon, the psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will.
Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am very sorry for how late we were tonight. That's not usual for me. But we're here, we made it, finally, at last. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back this fine evening, playing a little bit of Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. Let me just say hello to all you fine people. Hello, Aelith. Bendover, Sir Bendover, Esquire, and Sandy. Hello. Hello, good lady. If it is audio, it's probably me. Let me make sure I turn up both. There we go. Hopefully that sounds better. If that's too loud, y'all can just yell at me. And let me do this real quick. Live. There we go. Hopefully, that doth fix it. Good. Thank you very much for telling me, Sandy. Alright. If it needs to come up more, I will make sure it comes up more. Oh, how have you all been doing? Hope you've been having as good of a day as I have been. Because, today's been actually pretty darn decent. Very happy with it. Uh-oh. Oh, that might be a problem. Is it what I think it is? It is. Of course it is. Much is explained. Alright. Hope you're having a very good drive home. You've probably got nice sunsets there. It's later there than it is here, I think. Alright. It's still bright and sunny outside. And it's probably going to be bright and sunny outside for a bit yet. But I need more willpower, because I am currently rather weak. I need... that one. I will become a better psyker so that I can make more people's brains explode. Alright. I have been playing a good deal of this game, as I'm working on a possible review. I don't know if I'm going to do a full-on video, but I will be doing something soon with this as far as a review for this game, because... Ooh, do I want to give him Bolter or Plasma? Decisions. Residual charge. Solid weapon projectile. I wonder. Because there's a lot they have added with the new DLC that I really like. The new DLC for this game has very much changed things for the better in a lot of ways. I have a few minor complaints, though, and hopefully that gets fixed before we get to that point in the story. There is an issue where when you try and use the Overseer archetype's ability, which is, of course, to have a companion, after the fight with Nemesis, when you start getting into one of the later tier quests in this game, it will throw you into a cutscene and despawn your companion, and the only way you can get the pet back is by going into the captain's quarters, and it doesn't follow you anywhere else, which is kind of an issue. That's really, that's a really big bug that they really need to fix. Serbendover says, sweating down here for the next 9 days. It's in the hundreds. This is on top of 5 days of 100. Yeah, it's been like high 90s here with like really high humidity. So you like walk outside and you're just dripping. It's like trying to breathe in a glass of water. It's not great. Okay. I will take. Where was? Something special. Oh, that's for Archmilitant. Never mind. Melee weapon, specialist. No. Heavy weapon proficiency. Probably be better because we can get him a Melta. And again, maybe Bolter would be handy too. Just give him Bolter weapon proficiency for the moment, and then weapon skill, look at that. Got high toughness. His strength isn't great, though. Just got that. Adira, my least favorite character in the whole game. Actually, that's not true. I don't like Myra's Eye more than I dislike her. Take intel. Perception. Higher perception let us find more things. Okay, that's it. And then for you, ballistics, probably. No, strength. She needs more strength, and then we're gonna go with Litany of Purification, so that when she prays real hard, it kills all the demons in her direct proximity. Alright. Let us head down to Sector Bionica so you can see the new DLC content. Because that's cool. Very cool. And we'll only be able to fix this after we get done with Rykad. Oh. The Implantation Throne is majestic in its antiquity. The metal bench, surrounded by countless injectors, manipulators, and vid screens, leaves no doubt as to its purpose. The very nature of this machine is designed to transform living bodies by fusing them with blessed iron. Even to the naked eye, it is clear that this machine is ailing, grievously so. The manipulators' segmented tubes hang limply, bleeding unguents, while the dusty lumens are only dimly illuminated. As the tech priests try to revive the relic, each swing of their censer is like a pendulum, ticking down the moments until the throne's untimely demise. Your lordship, thank you for gracing the Sector Bionica with your presence. You are already acquainted with Drive's master, Zyra Tala. It is she who has been tending to the ancient relic. She is here to convey the wretchedness of our present position. Lord Captain, the blessed machine spirit that dwells within the throne is fading. I and many grieving tech priests have been performing unending sacraments of tech healing and prayers of operational benediction on this shrine. But even our devotions are merely striving off the inevitable. The throne. This throne is a creation of the Omnissiah, made centuries ago. Even before the unholy desecration of the relic, we were barely able to propitiate its ancient machine spirit to perform sacred augmentation procedures. Many litanies and operating protocols did not survive through the ages. Now, with the demise of the keepers of the implantation throne during the mutiny, they have been lost forever. This sacred machine must be saved at all cost. What makes this machine so important? It is unique, one of a kind. The tech priest's optical augments flash, and surprising fervor creeps into her voice. In the Logos Annals of the Adeptus Mechanicus, this throne is identified as a shrine capable of autonomous augmentation rituals. Its loss is unacceptable, and any condoning of it is sacrilege. In addition, only the rogue trader or persons authorized by the rogue trader may use it. It is an invaluable investment in your longevity and bodily integrity. How do we save the throne? Only a servant of the machine god endowed with the high rank of Genitor Extremis, versed in all the necessary rituals and learned in the mystical currents of the motive force, can perform the reparative sacraments and reanimate the mechanism. The only place where one might find such a servant is in the cloistered station of Alter Templum Calexis EXT 17. To the best of my knowledge, the cloister Mistress Talar is referring to is located in the Fabundus system. Its denizens are not well disposed to communicating with the laity, but I am willing to leverage every diplomatic connection I possess to gain an audience with the station's clergy. Dunrock, I'll rely on your connections. The Drivesmaster's Vox Grill emits a Benaric aura of thanks. I thank you for the favor, your lordship. Before you depart the Sector Bionica, I would like to present you Genitor Majoris Ferens and Vivisector Jade Martinax. They are currently performing an urgent procedure and therefore were unable to attend the inspection in person, but I am certain they will receive the rogue trader's visit as a great honor if you will follow me. We're gonna go. Words are hard. You're gonna have to apologize. Yeah, brain. Brain is not braining. God, kill me. Okay. But, it's been a rough day, chat. Oh. Got a lot done, but maybe I should have drunk another cup of coffee. I think 4 was probably enough, because I'm kind of vibrating in place, but... And second that, another one might not hurt anything. Alright. The smell of medical supplies and weak cries of pain fill the cold air. 2 figures stand over an operating table. The patient lying upon them is bound in place and his head is soaked in blood. A woman in uniform is desperately trying to force her way to the table. Please help my son in the name of the Golden Throne. I know you can. Notek has endured so much. The lined face of the middle deck veteran is contorted with grief. Every word she speaks comes out in a long moan. Your lordship. The Medicae officer, dressed in protective attire, briefly looks away from the table to welcome you with a solemn address. Vivisector Jaz Martinax, at your service. The rogue trader's visit is a momentous event for the Sector Bionica. Will you grant us the honor of observing the operation? The hunched tech priest on the opposite side of the table erupts in a furious binaric trill as he struggles to immobilize the thrashing and moaning patient. After a time, he likewise turns his metal-plated face to you. The life form, Genitor Majoris Ferens, welcomes Lord Captain Ulrich von Valencius. I second my colleague's statement. Examine the patient. The man, chained to the bed, is missing the top part of his skull. The moist pink contents glisten in the lumen light. The patient is unconscious. His eyes are open and his parched lips are constantly moving as he mumbles. The man's terrified gaze meets yours, and he falls silent. How curious. It seems the rogue trader's presence is indeed influencing the patient's state of mind. Martinax looks back at you with interest. Whether it is a manifestation of devout faith in his anointed, or a bizarre form of delusion, it can only be to our benefit. Whatever you are doing, your lordship, please continue. Address the patient. Your mother is here, Notek, and she is very worried about you. Hold on for her. The patient's clouded gaze is locked on the woman's face, the corner of his parted lips stretching into the faintest semblance of a smile. His mother stares back, almost without blinking. I believe he's deteriorating. The scan results state the opposite. The heart rate of this life form is returning to normal. Make the sign of the Aquila. The throne of terror blazing in his light, turning aside every evil. A quiet chant emanates from off to your side. Turning you gaze from the patient, you see Sister Argentia, having made the sign of the Aquila, raising a prayer to the God Emperor. Her melodic voice is soothing and instills confidence. Through the bloody foam on his lips, the prostrate man whispers, God Emperor bless you, Lord Captain. Barely exhaling the words, he takes a deep, pure breath. A moment later, the two people leaning over the patient simultaneously raise their instruments. In a colorless voice, the tech priest proclaims, registering the complete stabilization of the life form's condition. Internal cortical damage has been treated, requesting closure of the callot and transfer the victim to B-class stimulants. He will live, but the stimulants won't replace that part of his brain. If we implant the sacred cortical augment in his skull, it will restore his lost ability to think and act. Lord Captain, please. Your subject has a genuine need for this augmentation. This constitutes a violation of the sacred directives. The value of an individual life form is incomparably less than the value of the sacred technology required. Augmetics of the specified class are rare and are restricted to senior officers. Thus dictate the regulations of the Sector Bionica. How was he injured? In the last Void battle, Lord Captain, where he barely survived his injuries. He has suffered a few healing attempts from charlatans on the lower decks and endured a long road to come here. However, no weapon can destroy the devotion and fortitude of a true servant of the God Emperor. Who is this man? An expendable life form to be utilized in Void battles, one of thousands. A soldier from a Voidsman combat unit and a devoted servant of the Emperor. Lord Captain, this young man has been fighting for his life, even through horrendous pain. If you allow the augmentation to be installed, his perseverance will become an example for others to emulate. My only son is surviving in a void unit. I was the one who told him to go there. My poor Notek. I've made my decision. Fit the augment. We hear and obey, Lord Captain. Martinax offers you a graceful bow. I will see to the implantation at once, and the esteemed servant of the Omnisci will assist me in the procedure. The Genitor Majoris response in Binaric carries a distinct tone of displeasure. Ignoring his colleague's response, in the vivisector begins inserting thin augmentation spikes into the patient's brain with uncanny precision. Before long, the iron plate of the cortical implant replaces the damaged bone with a resounding crunch. In the silence, you hear the soft sobs of a woman. Notek's mother is weeping helplessly, furiously wiping her eyes with her hand, but now a smile of relief lights up her face. Thank you. Thank you, your lordship. I will remember your intercession for the rest of my life and pray for your good fortune. He is going to be pissed. Can we go? I think we can go now. Yeah. That was a major boo-boo, and if there was someone more higher ranking here from the Adeptus Mechanicus, they would be very peed. Because for them, augmentations are supposed to only be given to the worthy. AKA tech priests and people who can pay the admech enough. Either an influence or for other things that they are interested in. And I need to do a thing. Give me 1 second, chat. It is time to hopefully not piss off my entire audience and actually send them the pingy, because I did not ping anyone. And I imagine they will try to impale me. So give me 1 second if I don't. Right, there we go. I need to go here. I'm in a very Anglo-Saxon mood today. I have been reading the Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, translation by J.R.R. Tolkien, which is actually not all it is. There's a bunch of other stuff in there, but it is very good. There we go. Right. No one can say, you didn't ping me, you asshole.
Challenge for me?
Although they would probably be right to do so. Okay. We'll talk to them later. We are going to loot this. All of it. Lots of things worth requisitioning for the cause. It's not stealing, after all. It's my ship. Thus, everything on it belongs to me. Pay no attention to the fact that that technically applies to the people as well. And we're banned in like half the countries on planet Earth. Okay. Get that open.
I rise to the occasion.
I believe in me, he says. Alright, we need to go there. We'll be headed to the other places. So, we've got the Rykad system to explore tonight. There's like, 4 different planets? No, 3 different planets and one void station we have to visit. So first things first, we'll do the void station, then the planet, then the prison planetoid, I think. Voxmaster Victus. Lord Captain, Astropathic Choirmaster Zachary Wise is asking to speak to you via a private channel. Greetings, your lordship. I can report that the choir is listening tirelessly to the Imperium in the hope of picking up voices from the Dynasty ships and worlds. However, we have heard something horrifying instead. Amid the Imperium's tumult, something is screaming. The scream is driving your choir mad. Until it stops, we have no hope of contacting any of the Dynasty's worlds. It is coming from the Rykad system's astropathic station. I do not think we have been introduced. Indeed not. And we meet under lamentable circumstances. My name is Zachary Wise, and I am proud to be the choirmaster of your ship's astropathic choir. The duty I perform is to keep you in contact with the Expanse via astropathic messages sent through the warp by trained psychers. What is the nature of this scream? We do not know, your lordship, but it has brought the Imperium to a boil. It has always been a violent, roaring ocean that could spell doom to any who would consider stepping into its waters. Now, however, it has become a cradle of madness, where expelled images fuse together, twisting and cackling, before crashing into the minds of all who perceive it. A mighty warp storm, the likes of which I cannot recall, rages in the Imperium, and it fills me with terror. We are going to pay a visit to that station. Thank you, your lordship. Right. Let's get that open. Contact the station. The astropathic station is dead ahead of the void ship. It is motionless. There is a lifeless silence across its vox frequencies. Its lights are out. Even those who have no warp sensitivity can feel the presence of death. It is here, lurking in the shadows. All of this makes reading the reports of the ship's astropaths, who claim to be hearing an incessant, ghostly howl emanating from the station, all the more disturbing. Contact the station by Vox. The station is not responding. Perhaps there is no one left who could respond. Deploy a scouting team. The enforcers offered their prayers and proceeded to enter the uncanny station. What they saw inside was monstrous. Astropaths upon their thrones, not quite here, not quite now, smudged as it were across time. Servants reliving their horrible deaths again and again, only to be reborn out of ashes and blood into more agony a moment later. The warp manifested itself here, twisting the very nature of existence. The main hall was covered in a crust of psychic ice. A green-robed, blind old man sat motionless upon a tall throne. He was quite literally embedded in the ice, yet he was still alive and screaming. Send Zachary Wise to the station with a squad of bodyguards. Lore Warp 100. Choirmaster Wise boarded the station in person and proceeded to the choir's hall. He stood silently for hours in front of a man frozen in ice and held a telepathic conversation with him. Then Master Wise offered a prayer to the God Emperor, and the unfortunate man passed away. Upon returning to the ship, Wise reverently presented the Lord Captain with a grim trophy, the late choirmaster's amulet, taken from his frozen body after his death. The psychic shriek carried across the Imperium has been silenced, but this has brought the crew no relief. A chilling realization came to the astropaths when they discovered that the cry was masking a different sound, one even more terrifying and surreal. It was the melody of a cataclysm born from a warp storm of titanic power, so intense that the entire expanse must be able to hear it. It muffles astropathic messages and crawls into psychers' minds, evoking everywhere the same image, a dark, gaping, beastly mouth, cleaving the universe in two. Now that the mad choirmaster has finally stopped screaming, the song of the Imperium has reached the Rogue Trader's Void Ship 2. And this is the opening of the Cicatrix Maledictum, and the Eye of Terror yawns wide. Rykadia has been severed, the pylons broken, and the 13th Black Crusade has been unleashed on the galaxy. And yet, in this darkest of ages, hope shines. But upon the world of Cadia, hope was lighted. For there, Belisarius' call went forth to a hidden Eldar webway gate, and opened it, and has traveled to Macragge, homeworld of the Ultramarines, to awaken Rabute Gilliman and begin the era Indomitus. This is the fact that this is occurring like concurrently at 990.m41, final year of M41, is very interesting. Although time in 40K right now is a little bit messed up, because there are some people who are like, no, it's M42 or M43. Like, it's been like 1,000 years since Gilliman came back. And then Gilliman's sitting over here, like, looking through the different reports. Like, I am getting reports currently from star systems that are like, yeah, no, it's M38. But I'm also getting reports from the Chrono Guilds and the Navigators that are like, nah, no, it's like M42, surely. It's very fun. There's a lot going on with that. It's the warp breaking the galaxy in two, causing temporal distortions. It's also the whole chrono strife and all of that fun stuff, involving the various organizations within the Inquisition who are trying to keep time from not becoming a complete cluster. Make a really good, like, game or show. Probably better in a book, though. If I'm being quite honest, everything is better in a book. But I do think a game would be a good place to maybe adapt those particular sets of stories, because they're really fun. Anyway, ADD break over. Order the station to be explored. Burn everything. Void torpedoes shatter the fragile station. One can only hope that the unfortunate souls captured by the warp have perished along with their home. Okay, that's done. Navigator, Prison Planet, and then Rykad, maybe. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. Thank you all so, by the way, chat, thank you all so much for being here, and I really appreciate it. Like, a ton. I'm so happy that we're back doing this, and I'm so happy that I'm back able to provide you with at least somewhat decent quality entertainment again. So, you guys rock. Thank you all very much for being here. I really appreciate it. The box crackles to life, and Master Helmsman Revor addresses you. What we have here, Lord Captain, it is not very noticeable, but there's a void ship sitting in the local asteroid field. It sure is quiet, like it's huddled up in there on purpose. It's not like I'm surprised. The thing is more scrap shit heap than ship at this point. Somebody sure went to town on it. We are registering critical damage to the hull and depressurization of several compartments. Oh, there is an incoming transmission now too. Here, us, do not require assistance. Pete, do not require assistance. Copy. Keep following. They'll pass us by, won't they? Roar protects. Lord Captain, I'm told our augurs cannot determine the allegiance of the vessel. To be brief, there is an unidentified and badly damaged ship within an asteroid field, near the Rykad Filio colony that is refusing help, which is not to put too fine a point on it, has not been offered to them yet. Revor, can we establish communication? Let the vessel identify itself. Yes, Lord Captain, the connection is established. Unknown vessel, we are receiving you. Identify yourselves. I repeat, identify yourselves. For a brief moment, the Vox only hisses and snaps, and then several voices at once start shouting over one another. Don't tell him! Don't tell him! We're done for! Do not tell! This is Thunderfang. We are... One of the voices falters uncertainly and is replaced by another. A merchant vessel. Do you copy? We are a private chant vessel. A merchant vessel. Of course they are. Damn my stupid head. Where did I hear that name before? Thunderfang. Revor. Damage report on the unknown vessel. Telemetry shows multiple hull breaches, most likely caused by the guns of a combat ship. Several compartments are leaking air. The bridges have been completely obliterated. 2 of the engines are critically damaged. Someone gave them a thrashing, so solid they barely managed to limp away. Thunderfang, why can we not identify you? You can make out hoarse and furious whispering, even over the crackling of the status. Why? I don't know. What if? Certainly not. The whispering dies, and a clear, youthful voice cuts through the static. Our vessel is badly damaged. Damage is preventing the correct identification. We assure you. Merciful. Merchant vessel Thunderfang does not require aid. Thunderfang, your vessel is badly damaged. What happened to you? The Vox responds by bursting out into a cacophony of sounds, words, and emotions. Someone chuckles bitterly, another swears with some foul expletives, and yet another hisses, furiously demanding that the other shut up. You manage to make out little from all this noise. We were just flying, minding our own business, straight out of the blue and opened fire. Miracle we could get away. Emperor protected, and then more fire, who, void only knows, roasted our tail, bombing everything. The folks, our folks, are left without our help. We never got to them. Thunderfang, now stop playing games and explain again what your business is here, and this time I highly recommend the truth. Now, what have you done, idiot? It's too late now. The Vox channel is again filled with angry whispering of several voices. The whisper and statics are drowned out by a clear and slightly frightened voice. Do you copy? We are from the Fellow of the Void. We did not come here to loot, on a different mission, to help our own out of jail. Do not hurt. Lease. We already had our own chronos clean. How about striking a deal? Our hold is full of goods. In case you are unaware, Lord Captain, the Fellowship of the Void is a disorderly assembly of several dozen pirate factions in the Cronus Expanse. They consider themselves above regular heretics, solely because they sometimes have Vox conversations with those they are about to board. Were it up to me, I'd make them eat a salvo from the macro cannons to shake the scum loose from the decks. They certainly deserve it. The honeyed voice of the high factotum interrupts the translation with a polite cough. I would wait on destroying the vessel if I were you, although the moral aspects of their livelihood do cause some awkward question. The Fellowship of the Void remains a major supplier of goods to the local market. Perhaps you will find dealing with them acceptable, especially in a situation where performing a warp jump is impossible. Thunderfang, prepare for commercial exchange. Right, we're gonna buy all of that, which will give us plenty. Ooh, shields, Mars pattern axe. No. Right, let's try and sell that at cargo. Cargo, we need 1,500. We'll have to come back and trade with them after we deal with Uric 5. Because I want a navigator. Badly. Quite badly, indeed. Do I have any contracts? No contracts available. Back to the bridge and chat with Argentia for a moment. Right then. Thinkies, big thinkies. I like that Scud Hamster Jai Hadari more than I like Adira, I think. Certainly more fun to talk to.
Rogue Trader.
You said you have a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rogue Trader. The accursed servants of Chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valancius territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the Rogue Trader could meet with the orphans?
I will meet with them, no formalities needed. These are the children of people who gave their lives for the Von Valancius dynasty. My consideration is the least that they deserve.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
The motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off of you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. God damn it. Why do you have to have me pronouncing hard words right now? I can barely form proper sentences. Our indefatigable sister has been... I know it's fatigable, but you get a chat. Has been keeping an eye on these pups. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the Schola Progenium in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. Argentia is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of this ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House Von Valancius. You notice Infernus Master, Enric Montague, standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet his gaze. Grandly address the group. I, the rogue trader and Lord Captain of the ship, speak to you now. Your parents gave their lives for a just cost, and brought honor to the Von Valancius banners and those of the Imperium. I am proud of them, and I believe you will become their worthy heirs. The teenagers hang on your every word with bated breath. Only a few, at the far end of the row, seem sullen and not particularly impressed by your speech. One of the scowling visitors, with a thin scar across his face, tosses his head back and says bitterly, So what? What should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches? Argentia quickly turns to the boy, a flurry of emotions and flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants to both to calm him and scold him for his impudence. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. It doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back, and it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our folks, or worse. I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through, but they gave their lives for the truth, for the good of the whole ship, for the Imperium. Do not speak of their honorable fate with anger and disdain. You heard the rogue trader. His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly, then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with Von Valencius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the Seneschal came prepared for any contingency. Oh god. I forgot that was there. That's old. Argentia rubs her temples pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay. Right, back we go. I have to keep her happy. If possible. We're gonna try and make sure she actually gets her armor this time. I think we're gonna try and go for a dogmatic ending. I'm not sure which one, though. So what we're going to try and go for, chat, is we're going to try and go for Overseer. I'm tempted to go with a Cyber Raven, because Njal the Stormcaller absolutely corrupted me on that front. Having a Psychic Bird follow you around is really cool. Sadly, I can't get more than one. I can only get one Cyber Raven. He has two. And yes, that's riffing on Norse mythology, and yes, it's very cool. But I'd like, maybe if I don't get him, I'll get one of these. Cyber Eagles are awesome. And look really cool. I'm tempted to go with Cyber Eagle, though. Lord Captain, reporting the heralds of the Nabis Nobilite continue to maintain Vox silence, perhaps due to the Uric 5 station being off-limits to visitors. We've interrupted signals from the beacons drifting in the station's orbit. The demands are clear. We are told to turn the ship around immediately. We have also detected an accumulation of space debris near the station's docks. Presumably, it is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed Nabis Nobilite House requires aid and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmission. Order the auger crew to scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The Vox remains silent for a while, but then you hear static and Vigdis's measured voice. The officers from the auger crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis. They are throwing off most of our readings. We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. So the question remains, why are the esteemed navigators, heralds, ignoring us? Contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. The Vox relays the cadent sounds of grinding gears and clicking tumblers. I am sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply, even after an official greeting by a rogue trader and the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person.
Order the crew to commence docking with the station.
Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station, so you will have to look for their esteemed navigators blind. Dock safely, and may the God Emperors light your path. Okay. Gives us the whole gang.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Wretches, you will be consigned to oblivion for your transgressions against House Orselio. Immortal Emperor, deliver your servants from peril. Prayers will not help you, servant of the damned. In the name of House Orselio, I command you to execute the infidels. Not a step further.
Master, we have some strange guests on the station. A tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his weary face, and not just his own blood. Two jet black, unblinking eyes are watching your every move, and the third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pulsing behind the lowered lid in the middle of his forehead. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Iblard, if you would be so kind. The Seneschal takes a deep breath.
Before you stands his lordship, the rogue trader Ulrich von Valentius, heir to the greatest protectorate in the Coronis Expanse and bearer of the sacred warrant of trade. Allow me to point out that the Noblite custom requires the Lord Navigator to introduce himself first, but given the unusual circumstances on the station, his lordship the rogue trader is willing to turn a blind eye to your hostility, but just this once. In this case, I shall turn a blind eye to your unceremonious invasion, but just this once. There is a dangerous glint in the man's shrouded eyes. Very well, allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Philip Christoph August, keeper of this place. So you did not arrive to offer support to the traitors. This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Uric 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orselio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say you are not on the guest list. Provide me with a navigator, and I will immediately depart the station. I do not think that is possible. Uric 5 is an observation station. We do not sign contracts and do not provide navigators. We delve into the depths of infinity and chart the movements of the warp storms, and besides, Philip gestures at his sworder behind him. You have chosen an opportune time for negotiations. What is happening on the station? Where did all these corpses come from? Betrayal, a most banal thing in the life of the Noblite, don't you think? I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend Theobaldo Celio, the second keeper of Uric 5, and my mentor. On his instructions, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew up the shuttles, and brutally massacred the loyal servants of my mistress. Most unforgivably, they dared to take a prisoner. Greedy scum! I swear by the throne's light, their souls will perish in the darkness of the void. Velik falls silent for a few moments and then furiously slams the staff into the floor. The madmen have captured Lady Cassia and are now torturing her upstairs while we are idly chatting down here. Help me rescue her, or be gone, but waste no more of my precious time.
What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask you for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet Philip takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood and winces in pain. And yet Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness, but you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress's chamber, we will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Orselio herself. This is a control rod of the elevator's machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny, but even this relic will be of no use until the elevator mechanism is powered. And why should I help you? You came to the station for a reason. House Orselio will not be able to help you until the current crisis is resolved, but if you aid us now, I promise we will reach an agreement that you will find satisfying, be it riches, influences, or the powers of our navigators. How do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help to rebuild the rod. The tech priests ceaselessly perform the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirit will serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. So how am I supposed to power the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence and the sacred mechanisms will do the rest. I guess that makes sense. So, what have you decided to send the Von Valucius line? It will be an honor to save the Lady Navigator from her woes. You should hurry then. We will stay here to hold the line and lick our wounds. Good luck, Rogue Trader, and may the Emperor's light be with you. Oh yes, Emperor. Which I somehow doubt you're actually a servant of.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
That wasn't so difficult.
Experience.
Bright, pure color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying?
If the witch is talking about the enemies of humanity who set upon this abode of noble navigators, then our weapons will soon dispel their wicked misery.
Okay, I need... Who should be given this cape? Should. What's your intelligence? How stupid are you, Argentia? Very. Denial of nightmares. Better cape. That is something we need in Darktide. Give me more capes. Lots and lots of capes. Alright.
It's about time.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
The Emperor favors me today.
The Lady Navigator statue looks pristine and new. Stand firm, we must not let the miscreants defile House Orselio. Fire at will for House Orselio.
Submit and you'll die quickly.
Right.
Stand your ground!
I am well aware of speed variations in combat. I am streaming. I want everyone to be forced to watch at the slowest speed possible.
My faith strengthens me. vigilant. Weapon at the ready.
Follow my lead.
It will be done. Reduced to dust. I will do my duty. Mark to a target.
One very large shotgun later. We're down a problem, at least. I am not going to have him go for what I had him go for last time.
Break them around.
I don't want him to go for weapons. I want him to get a very big chainsaw.
Hand in hand.
Follow
Or
my lead.
chain. Hammer would work too. Give him a thunder hammer. Watch the funnies.
Rejoice in battle!
There's that fierce name.
Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it. Strike is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Her, I think I'll have to go with like a chain axe and flamer.
My faith strengthens me.
Pain cleanses the body.
Stay vigilant.
The problem with the shields is that while the shields are really strong, they do have a few issues that I don't
They who discern the future own the battlefield.
perfect. Better. Oh, now I can't reach him hard.
All too easy.
Weapon at the ready. Break them around. Follow my lead.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. I'm not interested.
Not that one. The other weapon set. There we go. Perfect.
Indeed. Victory is if I took care of this one.
Follow my lead. For the glory of the Imperium strengthens
We
me.
have already. Good lord. Forgot how strong he is. Ablelard's just over here not giving a single crap about any of this. Quite a kill there. Pretty good.
Faith shields me.
Stay vigilant.
I know what is to come.
But you didn't see the Eye of Terror ramping up, well.
Forge ahead! My time is now!
I'll do it. Faith without deeds was nothing.
Nothing I can't do.
It will be done.
I'll pass.
At your beck and one fewer target. It will be done. I took care of this one.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! Doubt is for the weak.
You like stop breathing now.
I'll do it.
Be nice.
Strike is a prayer. Cover me!
Victory is imminent.
And perfect.
We are the spearhead of the Imperialis.
Lots and lots of loot. And armor! Finally, I can start getting flak armor. Well, most members of my party need.
None shall stand in my way.
Except for the Psyker. She probably shouldn't wear flak armor. Catechisms of St.
Follow my lead!
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Whole big pile of seppuku victims there. Yes, I think another cup of coffee would have done me much good. More caffeine is never a bad idea after all. The humble Lasgun.
Doubt is for the weak.
Anything else? There's loot here, too. And there.
Halt! I noticed something.
We'll have to disarm that. We go on through.
Done.
Statue of the famous Galixian sculptor and chronicler Zacharias Vernon. The 20th is of magnificent. The 23rd year of this millennium, original.
I better myself through my service.
The crew continues to mourn Lady Theodora. I fear it may affect the performance of their duties in service of the Lord Captain.
Let the people grieve. Lady Theodora was with us so long that we started to believe she was immortal.
Very clearly, she was not.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Oh yeah. More athletics. Good sword. Mars pattern sword. Noble silk gloves. Oh, rich Corinthian leather.
I did fine. What is that? Victory awaits!
Never doubt me.
Oh yeah. Now we're getting to the good part. You hear the screams. Move! Sir, are you all right? We can't hear anything. Now I see, you are in league with them. Is this an insurrection? Yes, indeed. Death to the traitors! Sir, what are you doing? Get a hold on yourself. I know, you're all traitors. Traitors, all of you. They told me, they whispered, hey, who are you? Research notes of Navis Laboratorium Custodian Fortunata Orselio, Part 13. Keeper Theobald graciously agreed to provide samples of his skin growths so that we could study the influence of the rebellious Immaterium on the flesh of the Navis Nobilite. Just as we thought, navigators are positively resistant to the restless currents of the warp. The God Emperor truly does shield some people against corruption and misery, but let us get back to the study of mortal flesh. Another servant will be carried in shortly, and I must ready the organ extraction equipment. Adamantine dust and blackwater. That was the worst idea that could have entered my mind. God Emperor be praised, I'm lucky to still have my head on my shoulders after this reckless experiment. Nevertheless, we did seem to protect the frail flesh of the lowborn to a degree. However, having said that, not even the macerator can handle its temper, so we should probably introduce a more complex compound into the formula. All the data related to the experiment were recorded on Datacrypt K040H. I will get back to them later once I am done with experiment H41OK. Have I mentioned that the chunk of meteorite found by Keeper Felix subjects is completely useless, although its shining granules could be used to make new paints for the child? Yes, I think I'm going to do exactly that.
A new challenge for me.
For some reason, the archenemy's twisted influence has found its way onto the station. Not for some reason, they were fucking around with warp experiments. That usually doesn't lead to, happy outcomes for anyone involved. At least it's not as bad as, that one Magos Biologus Prime on, Necromunda. He decided to do the dumbest thing possible in 40K, which is, hey guys, what happens if I infect a serious portion of this planet's, and this hive's population with the gene stealer virus? Surely nothing could possibly go wrong. Yeah, as you can guess, something most definitely did go wrong. Immediately after he brought the Gene Stealer Patriarch onto the planet. That was the first kind of step towards damnation. The Cogitator's vid screen is covered in cracks and stained with dried blood. The buttons, switches, and levers were ripped out of the control panel with exceptional cruelty and scattered around the sacred mechanism that now sparks and hisses in agony, still refusing to perish. Awaken the agitator. Request data on the station's navigators. After a brief pause, the data appears on the vid screen. Felicux Orcelio, location main hall, status alive. Theobald Orcelio, location upper chambers, alive. Calamara Orcelio, location upper chambers, status deceased. Alexius Orcelio, location lower levels, status deceased. Rasmus Estevan Orcelio, location unknown, status deceased. The child, location, upper chambers, biometric parameters, rapid heartbeat, elevated body temperature, stress levels exceed the permissible limit, status unknown error. Attention, calming procedures advise attention, upper chambers, inaccessible error. The control rod is not present. If the rod has been misplaced, immediately contact a station keeper or the Navis Laboratorium custodian. Examine the log. The archive data on the cogitator's local data crypt is partially corrupted, but you can still manage to access the residual logs for examination. View Fox Report 12AH890. This is Officer 8A282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower level chambers. A to D are unpowered. The tech priest crew sent to investigate the problem is not responding. Requesting back. The officer's speech is interrupted by shouting, and the recording abruptly ends. Officer H123 speaking. 200 servants have perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We have located traces of mechanical interference. The preliminary cause is officer sabotage. Crews 5, 6, and 9 are cut off from the main compartment. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. May the Emperor save our souls. Senior station officers, this is the captain speaking. We attempted to contact the Winter Scale Scion for help, but something is jamming the signal. We never received a reply and cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. A rescue team is not coming. We are on our own, so remain vigilant. Anyone could be a traitor. You hear me? Anyone. If you are in doubt, shoot to kill. Examine the recent entries of the incident log. The servants close to the child have started butchering each other once again. An order came from above to have the remains reprocessed. The negotiations with the Winter Scales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 moons. Escort them to the laboratory at once. It is imperative that we increase the new retainer's resistance to the child's powers. Data expunged. View the encrypted data. Child delete picked flow. Disable access code. Annul station. Controls delete activate. Shuffle self-destruct purge command log. Most of the recovered data, the encrypted data has been wiped. You find traces of the purge protocol. Recovery is impossible, but a list of the most recent commands, having been embedded into the machine spirit's consciousness, now flits across the screen in a single creeping line. Only the keeper of the station may have access to the life support systems, but Keeper Theobald has not left the child's side, and neither have I. Could it be that? Warning. Damage in technical compartments. A12, B3, D8, and H24 detected. Warning. Living quarters. L10, L16, L28. Depressurized. Warning. Unable to access the station's docking system. Warning. Energy regulation. System. Error. Unknown. The system will transfer over to energy power. To emergency power, immediate evacuation of the facility is advised. Warning. Return to the list of available commands. Main elevator controls. Activate the elevator. Return to the list of available commands. Switch to the main chamber controls. Open all doors on the level. Warning, data corrupted. Processing, error. Binaric is required. Vid-screen lights up with a smattering of unfamiliar green symbols, and you hear a peculiar click from somewhere behind you. It appears one of the doors in the chamber has been opened. Goody.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Light navigators, they're cool. They're way cooler than the ones in Dune. The ones in Dune are retarded. It's like, I'm fat, that is my thing. There's nothing particularly interesting or compelling about them.
Who thought that was a good idea? None shall stand in my way. We need to investigate. Follow my lead.
Just gonna collect that and we'll read that later, maybe. Adamantine. Goods. Biogel, tissue flask, reagent we'll use crystal dust. Activate the device. Well, that didn't work. Oh boy.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Just need to get up here. Wait, there's more loot in here? There is more loot in here. Oh boy. That's a bunch of noble hippy-dippy shit. Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah.
I rise to the
Yeah,
occasion.
brother.
That is what I'm talking about. Ooh, long last. Carapace, chest plate. Fire grenade. A shock generator.
Victory awaits!
Experience. Nothing matters more.
True. Bellicor Celio looks a little better. His tangled hair is now neatly braided, his wounds are tightly bandaged, and there is some healthy color under the scales on his cheeks. You dealt with a threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust you brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second of hesitation may cost my mistress her life. The crossroads, there are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks, so poor and flimsy, they fall at the slightest touch, one hiding a blind man, another a traitor. Tell me more, what paths? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery, both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like the most. Thank you. I did not understand a single word. Adira nods tiredly and glances at Felix out of the corner of her eye. The station has enough problems without your sorcery, Psycha. Care to explain yourself, scion of the Von Valencius dynasty? What is the meaning of this? Who is the child mentioned in the documents and reports found on this station? You meddled with something that should have been left alone. The child is what the station's servants call Lady Cassia. For the commoners' dirty mouths must not sully her name by uttering it. You see, it is not beneficial for all servants to have their vocal organs altered. Some prove to be more useful when they are still able to speak. The madmen, I thought, were convinced that we were the traitors. That's why they are insane. Will you really heed the ramblings of our retainers who dared to raise their hands against scions of a noble bloodline? The servants alone cannot be blamed for what happened on this station. Most servants' corpses I discovered were either unharmed or feeble. Did you really think mere servants could plan a coup? Senior officers are just as guilty. Half of my guards butchered one another because they suspected treason. As for the real culprit, the coup was staged by those closest to the mistress. Destroying the shuttles, shutting off the power, and disabling the security systems. Too many things required special access, available only to the keeper of the station. As you are, I'm sure you are aware, there were two keepers of the station. Your guess is absolutely correct. Theobald Celio, the demented old man obsessed with Lady Cassia and her power, and also the one to blame for the woes that have befallen Yorick V and my noble line. I listened to a recording of a private conversation between the station's officers. You were very lenient towards them, purposefully neglecting the security protocols. I was lenient, this is true, and in the end I paid a steep price for it. Just look at the destruction around us. The insurgents have left almost nothing of my home. The keeper spits out the last few words with particular bitterness. I saw the security captain's reports. Only the keepers have access to the station, but Theobald stayed at his side the entire time and could not have initiated the self-destruct protocol. Which means he did it before the report was filed, or maybe after, or... Felix's stern face twists in disgust. You dare suspect me of what happened? The one who's going out of his way to preserve what little there is still left. By the God, Emperor, you will keep these slanderous accusations to yourself. Enough lies, Felix. I am certain that you are the one behind this coup. I suppose it is time to remove my mask. Congratulations, you've got me. But did you really expect me to be sincere this whole time, to welcome you with open arms, an ally of Tisiphone and her monster? The accursed child who has tormented the navigators of House Celio for years? Don't make me laugh. You arrived to help her completely destroy our house, and I cannot let that happen. What are you babbling about? I know nothing of this Tisiphone or monsters of any kind. You do not? Felix hesitates for quite a while. In that case, accept my sincere apology for the deception and my earlier behavior. I have no intention of making an enemy of a von Valencia's heir, nor of destroying the station that served as my home for many years. They left me no choice. You cannot even imagine what monster lurks in the upper chamber. An evil, a plague, a pestilence on a bloodline that seeks to destroy House Orselio from within. And Theobald and his followers, just mindless fanatics serving this evil. Lady Cassia is a scion of a merciless tyrant. But it is not her relation to Tisiphone that is terrifying. She is a monster whose powers derive servants insane in mere turns. A cursed child who can kill a navigator from the Orselio bloodline with just a look. I alone managed to get close enough to her over the years. She lowered her guard and trusted me, and at last I rid my house of the curse. This is the truth. If your cursed child agrees to become my navigator, I will gladly rid you of this burden. You do not understand. This is... Felix stops mid-sentence, makes a brief pause, and then nods to himself. You are correct. This may work. It is certainly possible. You are going to need this charm. If you manage to press it against the monster's skin, whether by force or by guile, the baleful influence of her powers will recede. We'll be able to take her and leave the station.
A new challenge for me?
The pale figure with unnaturally long limbs covers her face with her hands, which are deformed with talon-like nails. Her deathly pale face is coated with blood that continuously streams from her scarlet-misted eyes. Her spiny gills, slightly hidden under her disheveled hair, twitch nervously at your approach. Only now do you notice the third eye on the young woman's forehead, hidden by a jeweled ornament. When your eyes meet, you sense overwhelming, soul-smothering power. As the otherworldly creature's gaze slides over you, your entire core shudders in terror. Flashes of past warp nightmares reemerge from the shadows of your memory and paralyze your will. You gasp for air in terror, drowning under a crushing wave of pain. You cannot catch your breath. Hot tears stream down your cheeks. Why is this happening? Why is it happening to you? Why do you feel so lonely and in so much pain? Do these feelings even belong to you? Idira admits something between a moan and a drawn-out whimper. Ow! As if my own little powers weren't bad enough. Now this one's barging into my head. Somebody stop her. Hail, Arid, hail, and well met, good sir. Heresy. Argentia looks at the tall figure with a strange mixture of anger and sadness, then she lowers her head and her white hair veils her face. Lady Cassie, I'm here to help you. Please calm yourself. She warily shakes her head and lets out a drawn-out sound similar to both a sob and a howl of a small wounded animal. What is happening? Was someone calling my name? Are all the betrayers dead already? And you? Who are you? Ulrich von Valencius. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pardon my manners, Ulrich. I did not expect to make such a gracious acquaintance in such a time of great sorrow for our house. What is this? I feel faint. The heavy-set old man who has been kneeling nearby erupts into low sobs, his eyes swollen from crying, dart desperately around the room as though the veil of ignorance has been ripped away from them. The child, Lady Cassia. Where are you, sacred child, throne preserved? Despite his venerable age, the navigator leaps up and rushes to the young woman's side. You! The old man shifts, revealing his face to you. It is threaded with black veins, and his bulging, milky eyes bear a striking resemblance to those of a dead fish. A sickly, sweet scent salts your nostrils, as if the old man's flesh is rotting inside his decaying husk. Eyes fail me, for they are unable to make you out as either enemy or ally. I'm warning you, one wrong move will bring the wrath of House Orcelio down on your head. Watch out, Lord Captain, this one's so deranged it's making the Whisper shriek like crazy. He might just open that eye of his. Threatening the head of the dynasty is a grave offense, esteemed whoever you are. At present, I am trying to determine what is happening in Yorick 5. I'll grant that you do not look like the pirates who came coveting the riches of a wrecked station, or like scoundrels in Fennec's service, so who are you? Ulrich von Valencius, rogue trader. Another rogue trader in our corner of the galaxy, how interesting. Your kind always make an appearance in desperate times, ready to cut a deal that benefits one side alone. Given that you're not so far drawn your weapons, your intentions are probably peaceful. And so, House Orcelio now asks a service of you. Save the life of the child in exchange for future cooperation. Do not hurry to answer. Think on it. You can decide, make yourself an ally or enemy of our house today. You decide. I want to know what happened between you and Felix. Felix is my wayward student. He came to Yorick 5 as a callow youth. I personally mentored him and trusted him with the care of the child. He was like a son to me, but he proved to be just another traitor. He sought to steal our most precious treasure, the heir of our house, our sacred child, to revel in power with others like him, casting our house into the abyss, to pervert the centuries-long traditions of our family. You can see the fruits of his villainy for yourself. He decided he was not bound by his duties to the legacy of the greatest of our Novators, Tisiphone Orcelio, who led our house to prosperity for countless years. Foolish boy, the renegades clouded his mind. They sought to seize control of the dynasty before the sacred child had come of age and take up the Novator's throne. So choose which side you are on, a murderous traitor or the lawful scion of a noble house. Felix said that the child is a monster, a legacy of tyranny that must be wiped out. And you believe him? After everything is done to the station, Felix only wishes to dispose of the heir and take the reins in his blood-stained hands. Do not besmirch Lady Cassia's good name. The child is the holiest and most innocent creature on the entire station. Felix is a true monster. Let us do away with him together. Allies are always welcome, even temporary ones. I will revive the child. Do not be alarmed. The power of House Orcelio's heir will help us to destroy our enemies and shield us from Felix's navigator forces. But you, rest for a time before the battle. Okay, level up. I need heroism. Actually, do I have... Scribe Soul. Sanguine Siphon. Ooh, that's good. Corpus Conversion. And then Toughness Fellowship. Rouse, demolition, Medicae. Fresh target. Perception. Ballistics. And controlled shot. No, dash. Dash! Definitely gonna want dash.
It's about time.
Now, let's loot this room. And we'll blow this place like... I do like this little pool here, it's cool. Blow this place like Tower 2. Anyway, that door open. It is about time we repay those who betrayed our house. Come! Please tell me we get everyone. Rogue traitor, you treasonous worm! I knew I should have killed you! That is enough, boy. You betrayed the child, our house, and Tisiphone herself. Surrender. I am the savior of our house, and I am prepared to pay the ultimate price. Kill them!
Take a knee and bow before me.
For the Emperor!
Gun as far as weapons. Auto gun. Dira's going back in that corner. Argentia's gonna go over here. Blard. Go there, good man. Let's do... That won't work. Let's do this. And then...
Will do.
Don't want her using any psyker powers because there's no need for it.
These rookie flashes are choking me.
Bolt shell, meet forehead, become friends.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it.
Aw.
As the
Sad.
Emperor commands, I act.
Positively pathetic, in fact.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
Dogmatic adherent.
Weapon at the ready. Break them around.
Bro couldn't hit the broadside of a barn door.
I will do my duty. Already done. Nothing I can't do. All too easy.
Follow my lead. Follow my lead. My faith strengthens me. Stay vigilant.
Try to die with grace, at least.
Weapon at the ready.
Onward!
Break them around. Follow my lead.
Ow. Las damage, not super high up on my list of fun things to get hit with.
On it.
Took that, man.
Curse you, miscreant!
Hit him with your axe, please. Not bad.
Not a problem for me.
Weather the storm.
What pattern autogun is that, I wonder? Looks like it's a vigilant autogun. Like the one in Dark Tide.
My fan strengthens
Like a
me.
Civitas pattern. Hi, buddy.
Indeed.
You go 9-9 now. Okay.
You didn't stand a chance.
Where's the last one?
I'll bring glory to my bloodline.
There he is. You, my dear fellow, are about to be rendered fully
will
into
be
the
done.
past tense.
Oh, an exemplary strike. Victory is imminent. It will be done. Reduced to
Point
dust.
blank shotgun round to the back of the brain case.
Now, this is your burden, child. Survive. Return to the fold of your house as your destiny demands.
No! Don't leave me alone in this violet-brown haze! Wake up! Your mistress is giving you an order! Do you hear me?
Cassia looks at the navigator's body in bewilderment, and you are overwhelmed with an inexplicable sense of loneliness and grief.
He was a fine seer of the war. He fought for his mistress until the end.
Yeah, no. Enough's enough. I've had my fill of waterworks, thank you.
I regret that we had to meet under such circumstances.
What need have I for your regrets? I just want things to go back to the way they were before. What are you going to do to me?
Lady Cassia, I, Ulrich von Valancius, rogue trader of the Imperium of Man, offer you my protection and grant you shelter aboard my vessel.
I beg your pardon, but what about my servants? Your Act 5 is still full of people loyal to House Orselio.
All who can be saved will be given succor aboard my ship.
As a Lady Navigator of House Orselio, I accept your gracious offer of protection. Please, take me to your vessel. I can no longer bear the pain of this place.
You seek.
Don't mind me, just gonna loot your mentor's corpse. And all of your enemies' corpses too, because I need what they have on them. Not bad.
Follow my lead.
Bad. More shotguns. Money. But I need money, Sydney.
Join me in prayer.
let's go. Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. The Sanctum Navis has been prepared for the communion ritual. But if the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first. Your heart starts beating furiously, your breath comes short and choppy, and your fingertips tingle unpleasantly. You notice that Victus is shivering slightly, and the crew are glancing around in puzzlement, searching for the source of this hidden wave of unease. Without even looking at the Boxmaster, Cassia waves her away. First, I wish to speak with the rogue trader. Leave us. Of course. When you're ready for the ritual, please let me know. What did you wish to speak about? After a few seconds' hesitation, Cassia lets out a small exhale and then raises her pointed chin. I have not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded with so much mournful ash when Theobald's heart stopped, but you acted honorably, and did not exploit me in my wretched position, and for that, I am immeasurably grateful. I am also deeply grateful that you saved my servants, especially my valet, Uve. Served on the station for more than 5 years, much longer than any who preceded him. He knows how to properly attend to me during the journeys through the Imperium, and what served me for breakfast. His presence envelops me in a cloak of amber. But now I am ready to go to the Sanctum Navis and perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and the best paints you have on board, but no red. I shall ensure that all the necessary supplies are delivered to the Sanctum Navis. I shall take my leave of you for the duration of the rite. I ask that you do not follow me. Few can survive the gaze of my warp eye when it is open. Lord Captain, I will oversee the open channel between the Lady Navigator and the bridge. May the Emperor's light help us all. The Voxcaster in the Sanctum Navis picks up the susurration of clothes, pious chanting, and the metallic clicking of implants. Then the serene voice of the Lady Navigator breaks the silence, initiating communion ritual. Come here, Uve. The exultant ring of metal freed from its scabbard, the low sob of the servant, the rhythmic drip of liquid on canvas, the faint whisper of the brush. Go. Footsteps hurrying away. I see violet vortexes lashing an ocean with a million flails and umber shadows spinning over the surface in a fiery dance, a storm rising above the foaming waters. Our might is drowning in fog. The path from one end to another cannot be seen. And here, beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother, and the sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit of her. No, of me. Its frozen rays lie that spring is here. This light is deadened. The great ruler is gone. Oh, not a whole lot, Grizzled. Hail and well met, good sir. We are finishing up the Uric 5 portion of Rykad. Then we'll be on to Rykad Minoris. Yes, Rykad Minoris, and then the prison planet. The Voxmaster recoils at Cassia's words and accidentally snaps one of the calculator levers. The panel beneath her fingers emit sparks, and the Voxcaster falls silent. She quickly flips a series of switches and bows guiltily. My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast, Lord Captain. I have never heard the warp speaking through a navigator before. The connection is restored now. It will not happen again. Leave the navigator undisturbed. Soul-shredding screams drown out the Vox transmission. The servants in the Sanctum Navis are howling and shrieking like wild beasts, moaning in pain. The throats raw from the strain, and then sudden silence. The dull thud of dropping bodies proclaims their fate. It appears the servants were part of the Lady Navigator's rite, as it was for her predecessor. I will arrange for the bodies to be removed from the Sanctum Navis after the ritual, or what is left of them. Rogue Trader, I fear I have unfortunate news. Endless blackness is spread across the canvas, dividing that what should be whole in two, and my sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor as clearly as before. I cannot turn around. My brush only draws me onward. The way is blocked. By the Emperor's grace, the ritual was successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel grip did not allow me to breathe freely, even for a second. It was as if the depths of the ship housed not only machine spirits, but something other. Now I will retreat to my chambers to recover my strength. Send for me if you have need of me. Lord Captain, congratulations on acquiring a navigator. Please spare me a few moments of your time, as there are several matters that require your attention. First of all, I wish to report on the condition of the station Uric 5. Had you opted to begin your visit to the Rykad system with a different destination, the station could have become critically unstable. Fortunately, the decision to immediately visit the representatives of the Navis Nobilite brought a special precious time. We can either focus our efforts on disassembling the station and procuring technological components for our own vessel, or attempt to save as many valuables as we can. Gather any components that will be of use on the ship. As you command, Lord Captain. With your permission, I would like to remind you that we are still looking for an Agency Prime. Both the vessel and its machine spirits are in desperate need of oversight by an experienced tech priest. We are also missing some crew, and much more importantly, we have not yet located Henrex van Carlux, the right hand of the Lord Inquisitor. Now we know for certain he was not at Uric 5, so we should keep this in mind when making future plans. Why is it always business with you, Victus? Couldn't you just sometimes visit and tell me how wonderful everything is? Certainly, Lord Captain, if you are interested. This week passed with a record low rate of minor disturbances on the lower decks. A senior technomat from Shift 8 came up with a new formula for a lubricant used in kitchen servitor implants maintenance. The quartermaster of store compartment 11 reported recently that we are spending ceremonial decorations at least 20% slower than expected, which means we have enough tablecloths, carpets, and lamps to last us 15 years of grand receptions instead of 10. Even considering that some of the stock was burned during the cultist attack on the vessel. Thank you, Victus. That will be all for now. As it pleases you, Lord Captain. Smartass. Okay. Lord Captain, there is some commotion on the officer's deck. The Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in the wardroom, where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you could go find out what has brought Lady Cassia to the deck. But is it the Navigator or... so many options. So many options.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
The Lady Navigator is engrossed in perusing the dusty tomes which appear to have been neglected by the other officers, be it because of sloth or dullness of mind. When you walk closer, Cassia looks up at you, starts, and hides a withered book behind her back. I see you are fond of reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Uric 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
Cassia gently brushes the dust off the cover with her thin, clawed hand, her eyes filled with longing after reminiscing about her lost home. The events that took place on Uric 5 must have shaken you greatly. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Your only attendant is your valet from Yorick 5. Do my servants not measure up to your standards?
No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusting the ornament on her forehead, then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers on the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes the gossip of lowly servants and officers alike. It is unsurprising, then, that Cassia prefers the company of one who is used to how she looks. I hope that you have had ample time to calm yourself and your powers.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting. Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying. You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I. I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
You have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural, be they good or bad, and it is just as natural to share them with others.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urac 5. So why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here?
Whenever I read a conversation like this, I always think, I can't remember what book it's from. I think it's one, it has a Black Templar in it, where they're sitting there, and it's like a couple guardsmen and some space marines, and the guardsmen ask the space marines, like, so what do you, like, do for fun? And the space marines are like, what is this fun you speaks of? Can you eat it? Oh, that's great. I find my amusement in impaling aliens.
At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls, and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... My delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
I understand what you're going through. My own life was turned upside down not too long ago.
Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so... private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
Perhaps my people did not wish to disturb you.
Or because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
Perfect. Oh, Janus is gonna be fun. Anything worth looting? I think I've cleared this room before, at least once. I would pay a good deal of money to have that ship on my desk. I seriously would. That model looks sick. It would be a pain in the ass to paint, though. Not that every model wouldn't be a pain in the ass for me to paint, because I have the... When it comes to paint, I tend to get it everywhere. I'm not very good with it. Give me a chisel and a fastly spinning block of wood any day. Alright. Cargo. Toby pattern. Cargo. Ooh, it's pretty. And then, we'll add all of these to cargo. We'll give her... Those give me logic. Let's keep those on. You're gonna wear these. You, good fellow. Just put those on there for now. Those can go there for now. Good God, she has really long claws. Is that better than the one she's wearing? Barely? That carapace is definitely better. Yes, I knew. I want you to... Thunderfang. Bah ma shit. Of course you need more than I have. Why must you do this to me, Thunderfang? Why must you do this to me, Shadow Sun? Okay. I've got a chainsword for the big man. Better chainsword. Wait, can you? Oh, I can give it her. Okay. Definitely give it to the Sister of Battle. Oh, it's so pretty, too. I wish we got one that looked like that in Darktide. Damn, that would be awesome. Soul pattern chainsword. Hallelujah. I would literally need, like, multiple changes of pants. Good lord, that would be so cool. Alas, I think it unlikely. Medkit and a fire grenade. God, I love soul pattern weapons so much. They look so cool. They always look so good. We don't get to see enough of them in most games. Like, you only get to see them, like, once or twice. I think you get to see them here and, like, sometimes in Space Marine 2. But they look wicked. More Ryza pattern stuff, too. That would be very cool. Right. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Wazarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Oh, everything's going to hell all at once. Wonderful. Positively wonderful. Couldn't ask for anything more. No, it's this quest. Oh, joy. I'm good lord. The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice is the loudest of them all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a high-born brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You will address the Lord Captain. Not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a high-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Aurelia Vent, requesting permission to speak. Vent falls silent and then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. You may speak, but I want to hear a full report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times called for drastic measures. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks in order to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary, but I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. He glances at Sauerback, who is standing not far from him, but she maintains a stony expression. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of the Seneschal Wazarian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we'll soon have a mutiny on our hands or a massacre. How did this all start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it to the chain of command immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to a head. And where, precisely, does Seneschal Wazarian come into all of this? I shall explain, Abelard intones grimly. I beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that I have always handled internal problems myself, so of course when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valencius will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Wazarian. Arrest, interrogation, mass punishment for entire sectors, it has driven people to the brink. Now there is a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 30 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection, but when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. Master-at-Arms, you have the ships and forces report to you, and yet you seem hesitant to provide your own perspective. Lord Captain, unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command and realize that it is not my right to challenge my superiors. That being said, while I entirely share Master Wazarian's view on what fate Depot 4 deserves, I must note that insubordination is a direct consequence of practices that he himself has introduced. Mistress Sauerback, I see you have decided to follow the Lieutenant's example. After all, such behavior does you no credit. Sauerback, explain yourself. The ship's regulations state that the Master-at-Arms is responsible for resolving all matters related to the ship's enforcers, and yet it is no secret that the Seneschal has a tendency to show partiality. Those enforcers and officers whom he has deemed particularly promising are at times given permission to approach him for tutelage. I cannot deny Master Wazarian's experience and insolence. The Seneschal has a record of fostering students who have indeed achieved much and demonstrated impeccable performance. However, extending such patronage over the head of their immediate superiors encourages disregard for hierarchy among your lordship's servants. Today, an enforcer goes to the Seneschal to report an order from the Master-at-Arms that they happen to disagree with. Tomorrow, they will go to the Lord Captain to object to the Seneschal's order. I notice a pattern in these actions. Abelard, do you wish to respond? Mistress Sarback, can you recall an occasion where I would encourage an officer to disobey their superior, or one where I would overrule their order, or show favoritism to those that merited none? None, Seneschal. Though there have been no such cases in the entire time I have served aboard the ship. If anyone were to claim otherwise, I would have them pay for insulting your honor with blood. Your conduct in this regard has always been spotless. Nevertheless, given your eminent position, a simple show of attention on your part is enough to erode the propriety of junior officers, inflate their sense of self-importance, and undermine discipline. That you distinguish some of them and know them by name is tantamount to walking around the officers' deck handing out gifts to the officers who have caught your eye. It fills those you set apart with ambition and audacity. Makes them stand out among the rest. Enforcers are meant to be faceless servants, ready to die for the Emperor, their fates entrusted to their commanders and no one else. That is the sole foundation of order. I see. Evidently, my officers are anything but a shining example of unity and adherence today. I have only myself to blame, I suppose. Abelard, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, and I am guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower deck, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way, you will stop the uprising before it begins. I am certain that the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions for myself. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which then led to you and your Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to Depot 4 myself and see to the expedient resolution of this incident. One thing I will say about Rogue Trader, I like way more than Baldur's Gate 3. It actually has way better systems. Just all around way better systems. I need. Behold, I have succeeded in doing the impossible. I have made a navigator tanky. It's Wazarian. Take that scum. Look who it is. This is all his fault. All of it. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Me too, Abelard. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this.
None shall stand in my way.
They threw a turd at him.
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live.
Sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bay. Lieutenant Aurelia Vrent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of her superior, Master at Arms Jocasta Saravak, who has arrived clad in armor, judging by their expressions and tone. The standoff has dragged on for some time already, and has now reached a boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is wearing thin, and I gave you an order. Now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. Vent looks shaken, but there is fire in her eyes. This is my deck and my sector. So long as this area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken here without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears, Abelard mutters in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Vent, Saravak looming over her, or both. Your lordship. Noticing you, the 2 officers snap to attention and salute their subordinates, following suit a moment later. I want to speak with the strikers. A dozen pairs of eyes stare at you apprehensively. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear and astonishment and joy in the reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you've come down to us. We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to the limit, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here, like that one there that the lieutenant won't let past. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who'd have just about had enough. Had about it just enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. The death squad has just arrived, and it's no wonder folks are lashing out. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and glances traded between them revealed that the news of the attack has shocked them. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your lordship. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Dangerous. Shut up, Rivet. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They're saying they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to the whole bay for a week at a time. So we get sick and freeze, and my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of these enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toes of her worn shoe. Argentia does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no follow feeling for us. Your lordship, we're no villains. Here, we're honest workers, your servants. We plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. This persecution started apropos of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and that there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The gewgaw they found on the dead drunkard. If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said that they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could we know there'd be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. As for this amulet or whatever it was, they took it off a dead body. There's no cultist still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. When the fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever tread these decks and boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh really? Those boots Oh yeah, those boots were really fine. And there was no harm in taking them, right? And as for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor, the same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who was Cain Cullen. Believe us, your lordship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age that the dangers of the arch enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was a long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector was just after I had my third little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers, will you? Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who is not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Abelard, have you nothing to add? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. Specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to this ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. Sourback, was it really necessary to torture these people with gold? The rabble understand only one language, Lord Captain, that of violence. As per regulations, should the laborers persist in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting air supply and cutting off water, which is almost certain to restore order. The peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end they are the source of their own misery. All they have to do is bow their heads and fall in line, and the need for punitive measures will disappear. And what changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Catan himself is asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everyone that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leading the clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old man. I'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. He probably even insists on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist bodies and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns its back, these brutes will be back on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two grudging leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Abelard, the story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want, even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity. That does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I've seen it before. Abelard's face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and the whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of beds like a metal choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple. Give them no quarter. Master-at-Arms, where do you stand? Give the rabble a crocs and they'll take an agri-world, Lord Captain. They only understand brute force and will interpret any concession as a sign of weakness. Giving them weapons and recalling the enforcers would be folly. It'll only be a matter of time before we have a full-scale mutiny on our hands. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would have been even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain order and oversight. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. Old man, listen. Lord Captain himself has come down to us and is offering concessions, and I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot Fort who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talked to them. Back down now. No, it's time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old man. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So you're brave. You are against an old woman, but I'll shut up, I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. Profit factor 2? I will lose money! You have failed to convince me of your trustworthiness. This unrest ends now. Everyone who is involved will be eliminated. No, Lord Captain, I swear my loyalty to you. I beg your mercy. Curse you. Yes, Lord Captain. Suddenly, Vent stands in the executioner's path. Once again, her face resembles a wax mask and her eyes are wide with fear, but her lips are clenched into a firm line. If you want to mow down everyone in Depot 4, you can start with me. Vent, stop! This is treason! Sorry, I've let everyone down. It's not clear who her words refer to. Abelard or comrades are the striking workers who are now doomed to die. Vent reaches forward and grabs the barrel of the weapon aimed at the crowd.
I won't heed your cries of mercy.
You asked for it! Don't touch me!
This way! I can't stand it! I took care of this one. Reduced to dust.
Look out!
Cleanses the body. Quick, quick! Emperor, protect me. Brace yourself,
Emperor, protect me.
Abelard. I'll live another day. Nothing I can't do. Stay vigilant.
That's nice.
Weapon at the ready.
I have his armor. Good lord.
Break their morale.
Can I fall back now?
No, you may not, Vera.
There is movement in the Empyrean. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor, none can escape the Emperor's judgment.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
At your beck and call. Viewer target. I will do my duty.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Follow my lead.
I can handle this.
No, I really don't think you can.
For now.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. Grey hair, sure hair. For Von Valencius. It will be done. I took care of this one.
Emperor, protect me.
Injury is not an excuse to shirk one's duty.
You just beat me, idiot.
Follow my lead.
You won't fail me.
I won't tolerate weakness. I am at your service.
All right then. I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You made a harsh but necessary decision, but after that, you danced to the tune of a panicking junior officer. You put your life at unnecessary risk in the midst of a potential uprising, and your actions triggered everything that followed. If you hadn't given Lieutenant Vent false hope and then snatched it away again, she wouldn't have snapped. You have no business going anywhere near the lower decks. Is this how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valencius Protectorate? There is some truth to your criticism. I should say so, you simply needed to trust me. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember, Lord Captain Theodora, do you think she ever once slipped foot on the lower decks? No, she did not, since all matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent some time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard this ship, and I will not repeat her mistakes. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of crisis. And I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. The prosperity of the Von Valencius Protectorate is not merely just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw, in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds, the signs of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds, they create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my lifetime in the military. So I left everything behind I had known, everything my family had known. I came from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all, the rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I'm not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations, procedures that were established long ago, and have functioned smoothly for decades, cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world, a world where Theodora is gone, and where you, and I, have new decisions to make. Yes, Lord Captain. Your resolve is admirable, and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now please, let us leave the lower decks, as the Rogue Trader desires to stretch to the legs that are more suitable for the places. Alright. That just leaves Rykad. Need to upgrade that hull. And soon. As much as I can do there. Alright, Rykad Philia. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Members of a sacred cult operating aboard the ship have requested an audience. They wish to present gifts and introduce them to their new Lord Captain. What sacred cult? They call themselves the Bloodspun Web. The cult defends the flagship from both internal and external threats. Lady Theodora held them in high regard and looks favorably upon their activities. I am ready to receive them. I will commence preparations at once, Lord Captain. We just have to remember to do all these things in order this time. God help me. God help me. Make this a Dark Tide class adventure, and I will be very, very happy. Those on the deck watch in awe as the final figure moves gracefully into a ceremonial pose. Some of the officers whisper in excitement, while others murmur prayers to the God Emperor.
The Undying Emperor commanded us to spin a web of blood around his children, and we obeyed. We obey still.
The masked cultists repeat the words in a mournful whisper. We obeyed still.
Domin von Valancius, death has whispered your name. We disown Domin Theodora. We renounce our oath to her. And now we give the gift of our blood to you. It is the gift of death. Death has whispered your name. The followers of the tenets of the web swear fealty to their new overlord and offer proof of their devotion. We give you a blade, the silent verdict. The Undying One has chosen you to wield this instrument of death. We give you one of our own, Kibella. She will be your shield and shadow. And we give you the blood of these traitors. The tenets of the web will purify their souls.
You've heard many stories about death cults such as this one. Those devoted holy assassins of the Imperium have turned death into a form of worship of the Emperor. They are exemplary slayers, invisible executioners and scourge of traitors, heretics, and following souls. Many righteous people honor them as votaries of the faith, while others see their fearsome rituals as frenzied spectacles touched by madness. Examine the captives. The prisoners cower beneath the weight of their gaze. Blood drips down the tear-stained faces of the captured officers, technomats, and workers. Word has been carved into each of their foreheads with meticulous precision: traitor, heretic, apostate, renegade. These cuts have been diligently and regularly reopened to prevent healing.
These renegades committed treachery against their domin. Their lips once praised the name of Kunrad Voigtveer, but it is your name they will whisper as they cross over to the other side.
Examine the cultists. The cultists are all voidborn. Their lithe, sinewy bodies are clad in light armor, which allows them to move with an acrobat's nimble grace and strike with an assassin's swift surety. Their red and black vestments are adorned with sharp spikes and ritual jewelry. Where time and training have worn their garments threadbare, you can make out patterns of bleeding lacerations. Interesting, so a death cult watches over my crew. They who honor the Empress through killing, devote their everything to serving him, sacred executioners.
The Domin has discerned our essence. This is a great honor for the blood-spun web. We have woven the bays of this ship together with the threads of our faith for many years. We keep the greatest relic, his tarot, through which he sends us his blessed revelations. We obey the whispers of the Undying One. This is our service to him. This is our service to you.
How interesting. Devout assassins who believe themselves to be instruments of a higher power. They revel in violence and cannot tell the difference between bloodthirst and piety. They follow their faith blindly, unaware of how closely they tread the corruption and depravity. Look at them. They stand on the edge of a precipice. The smallest push will send them plummeting into the abyss. You could be their downfall. All you have to do is push.
No, I don't think I shall. What exactly does a cult like the Bloodspun Web do?
The tenets of the web teach us to read the threads of the future and understand the hearts of others. When a soul is filled with the poison of corruption, we know its time has come. We bring liberation. 3 strikes, 3 rebukes, 1 blade. This is how we serve the Undying One. This is how we serve you and your flagship. But there are others, the virtuous martyrs who contravene his design without realizing it. Those who have come too close to faltering or committing an apostasy, but have not erred yet. We present such souls to the Undying One.
Instead of helping those who may soon stumble, you offer them death.
We follow his design. We claim those marked by his omens. We submit to his will. How could it be otherwise?
I disapprove of your practices, but I'm not going to ban them for now.
We lament having incurred your anger, Domin. We hope that you may yet understand there is no fault in our service, before him or before the crew of this vessel.
Tell me about yourself, Cabela. Are you the leader of the Bloodspun Web, or its herald, or its servant?
I am the second spinner of the Bloodspun Web. The honor of this title is bestowed only upon those who have ushered more souls than... It is shameful to speak of one's own deeds. I'm here to become your shadow, not to make boasts.
Why have you brought this rabble to the upper decks?
So you may offer the souls of these traitors as a gift to him. You have the authority to order their execution. Their blood will bind us together through him. For the God Emperor, the Undying One is death itself. The Undying One is duty itself. Give the order, Domin. Let a spinner of the Bloodspun Web undergo the test of a sacred trial.
I will judge the traitors myself.
Then, I will tell you of the treacherous blood that runs through their veins.
These wretched apostates were caught trying to sabotage the reactor. They are guilty of treason. I swear we were not sabotage. A woman in tattered protective suit pushes forward in protest, but her movements are halted by the thin cord wrapped around her neck. You notice that all captives have been similarly restrained. The woman clutches her throat as a thin line of scarlet appears between her fingers. Theft of weapons, sabotage of the deaths of crew in Bay AL-82. Do you approve of these charges, or are such claims the result of cultic revelations? With all due respect, it is difficult to discern the truth of these accusations without evidence. Divine visions and dark portents may be reason enough for you to tread blood, but not everyone here shares your perspective. Enough, Enric. The Lord Captain will decide the truth of these claims for himself. What did the accused have to say in their defense? Have mercy. We're just technical tunnel workers. We were told to block the ventilation shaft leading into the reactor room. Fuel leakage, supposedly. We didn't know we were doing anything wrong. We were just following orders. And as for what we were holding weapons, well, that was, the woman scratches her cheek nervously. She's lying. An injured officer scowls angrily. They smeared blood on themselves and crawled out of the tunnel wailing, "Oh no, the ship's been attacked. There are enemies everywhere. Defend the bay." We rushed off to investigate, and they used their cutters to break into the weapons storage at our guard station. They stole guns and headed straight for the reactor room. Bone and sinew revealed in your hubris, you abandoned vigilance for the promise of glory. You did not give weapons to the traitors, but you left your post to seek the hero's path. Though you did not act with treasonous intent, you are complicit nonetheless. The officer and his subordinates are to be demoted without the right to reinstatement. What should be done with the rest of the prisoners, Lord Captain? Get this treacherous rabble out of my sight and shoot them. Mercy, Lord Captain, mercy! The Lord Captain has spoken. Taken them away. I could not honor you by ushering these souls of these traitors to the other side. This troubles me, for I wish to serve you as the sword serves its master. Will you make me your shield and shadow, Domin Ulrich? Your Lordship, the spinners of the Bloodspun-Web were watching, tracking, and killing Von Valencia's enemies long before the war to trade past Lady Theodora. However, their blade has also been known to cut short the lives of highly upstanding persons. The factotum swallows nervously, casting a fleeting glance at Cabela. But I certainly do not wish in any way to condemn the deeds of the deeply esteemed cult. I am sure they must have had good reasons. The cultists are the scourge of the seditious. They bring the unrighteous to ruin. The enforcers respect the Bloodspun-Web, for we share a common goal, to bring his light and his harsh justice to the darkest depths of the ship. Scourge of the seditious or not, folk are afraid of them, for a reason. A couple of watches ago, these spinners took a train driver to pieces for some point of ritual. I don't know what old Malak did to earn that privilege, though, and who's going to feed his family now. Well, that's a lower decker problem. What matters is that the Bloodspun-Web serves you faithfully, Lord Captain. My predecessor's predecessor once delivered a sermon about how the spinners saved the vessel from the servants of the archenemy. The Bloodspun-Web paid the price in blood, a river of scarlet that flooded the decks from bridge to bilge. It became the blood of the flagship, the pulse in its veins, and the beat of its heart. Their great sacrifice earned the favor of House von Valencius. I wish to hear what my retinue thinks. I have heard, though only at a distance, the prayers the spinners offer up to him. I have seen how their deeds fill the people's hearts with confidence in the inevitability of the Emperor's wrath. The Bloodspun-Web's loyalty to the Emperor is without question, as is their willingness to lay down their lives in the fight against the archenemy. Although Lady Theodora never granted the cult an audience, or brought a spinner into her retinue, she respected the Bloodspun-Web and approved of its mission. It is strange, the shadowy forms are swathed in darkness, yet a radiant light burns within them like scarlet flame. I think it is a good sign. It is rare to see anyone filled with such light, even among servants of the faith. You will be my shadow, Cabela. Henceforth I am your shadow, dominant over involvencies, an instrument of death placed in your hand by the Undying One, so it was ordained, and so is Harrow or Smoke. I also come bearing an invitation from the Vizier of the Bloodspun-Web, who wishes you to know that the doors to the Undying One's temple are open. Are you suggesting that the Lord Captain should go down into the depths of his flagship to search for this temple? With all due respect, the lower decks are for servants and crew. They are not fitting places for his lordship. Why is the Vizier not here to deliver this message himself? First spinner is open. He abode in the temple beneath the flagship's freight line. He has not left the lower decks in decades. Even a short journey to sunder the spirit of his ancient body. Where is your temple located? I am not permitted to say. If you wish to find the temple, you must walk the path of Saint Ariane, the matriarch spider. Hers was the thread that would become the Bloodspun-Web. Her path begins deep within the flagship, in the dark tunnels of the freight line. That is where yours must begin as well. This journey will bring you closer to the thread of the web, closer to the Undying One, closer to understanding death. Perhaps one day I will grant you that favor. I have heard the whisper of the Undying One. He awaits you, he calls to you. Your time will come. Your blade awaits direction, Donna. We will speak again when the time is right. Alright then. It's quite a lot done. Is Silent Verdict. Big greatsword. Okay. We'll handle all of that at a later date. For now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. I will see you all on Saturday, for surety. And until next time, ladies, gentlemen, good night, sleep well, and until next time, this has been me,